Today is New Orleans Police Superintendent Sean Ferguson's last day on the job. Once he leaves, Michelle Woodfork will take over as the interim police chief. In the meantime, city officials will be looking for a permanent replacement. Joe Giarrusso, the councilman in District A, is joining us with more on the search. And this is something that city council members have been pushing the mayor to do, to name an interim police chief, and it was important that she did do that.
It was very important that she did, Eric. We know today is Chief Ferguson's last day. We thank him for his service, but we're going to have a time that's going to take to get a new chief, so you need somebody here who's on the ground and can hit it running.
And I know some of the council members were concerned that the mayor might name someone who was her choice from the department as a permanent police chief, but that didn't happen.
Well, that didn't happen. And look, we have no opposition to there being potentially somebody internally being the permanent chief. All we're asking for is let's find the best possible candidates, let's have some competition and see who rises to the very top.
And it does seem like there's been more cooperation between the mayor's office and the council.
We've been talking a lot more, I would say, the last few months. I think being in the budget process where you have so much at stake necessitates being in close quarters. And this is an important decision. This isn't about politics, it's about getting it right.
And I mean, for a long time, it just seemed like there was a battle going on between the council and the administration. A lot of council members who I've talked to, including you, said it was a hard time getting to even talk to the mayor.
It was hard at various points. But I think, look, my job is to serve the people who elected me, and that means you have to have conversations with other people.
And now, how long of a search do you think this is going to be, and how far out will you all go to find a permanent replacement?
Well, obviously we want the search to be as complete as possible, as quickly as possible. What I'm sort of hearing is 6 months since about the right part. I've talked to 2 past mayoral administrations, and they actually said that their first candidate didn't percolate initially. So it takes time, you got to dig and do all of the work, and that's why we're pushing for a third party to help us with that.
And the mayor has said she's going to bring some consultants in for this. Is the council doing the same?
Well, we're pushing right now somebody like PERF or IACP, these departments that really are independent, that have done these searches in the past.
Explain for people what that means.
So IACP is an independent association of police chiefs. They're all the police chiefs around the country. PERF is a similarly situated organization. And all they do is they know who are the candidates in the pool to look for. And that way, we're not baking the cake. We're having somebody independently from across the country tell us who the best candidates might be. And
we do have a couple of guys down from the NYPD who have been advising and helping out with the New Orleans Police Department. How much input will they have in on this?
Well, I think their input will be sort of beginning. We're really working with Chief Woodfork and getting things started. I think the other thing we're looking for them is how do they identify people either inside the ranks or outside the ranks to really help everything, because at some point they are going to leave. So how do we stand on our own 2 feet?
And your family has some history with a chief coming up within the ranks. Your grandfather was police chief for a while. He came up through the ranks of the NOPD.
Yeah, look, I'm not opposed to somebody coming up through the ranks. My grandfather was a beat cop, he was a sergeant, he was the head of narcotics, then he became the chief. There is a path to doing all of that. I think the mayor is right that we have talent here locally, but we also have talent nationally. Let's look at everybody.
And incoming Chief Woodfork does have some pedigree. Her father was in law enforcement. Her uncle, Warren Woodfork, was police chief.
She has pedigree, and Eric, she's been a cop for 31 years. And so I think that's really important for somebody who's here locally, has been on the ground, and has done it for such a long time. I look forward to getting the chance to work with her over the next few months.
Now, if we can switch gears, and there's going to be a parade and everything for the Chief's last walk today, but we are talking about the weather. We are in for a cold snap. There is some concern that there could be some power blackouts if too much power is being used. The energy grid has been hurt by hurricanes, and we know that for a fact. You guys got some message from HUD that they're willing to help, so that money that was going to be passed on to ratepayers to pay for this will be at least eased with some HUD money.
So everything is how can we use federal or state dollars to help the city as much as possible and not use necessarily our dollars or customer dollars. There is that community development block grant money that ordinarily can just go to housing. but every once in a while the federal government will give you a waiver to use it for something like energy, and we have now gotten that waiver. So we're encouraging the governor and the federal government to help us use that money to help people who are hurt by the problems, particularly Ida.
And quickly, how weakened is the grid here in New Orleans?
Well, it's not as resilient as it needs to be. Energy itself says we've done a better job in Florida, and we want to kind of bring that resiliency here.
All right, Councilman Joe Giarrusso, thank you for coming in. We appreciate
Thank you.
that. Let's get over to Peyton, checking out the